World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Jana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be lethal to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is now.
Greetings and welcome to another session of Access Wealth Nation with Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse, giving you that checkup from the neck up and giving you the opportunity to learn more about your journey in financial freedom. Of course, we're broadcast on Soul City Broadcasting Network along with WHCR 90.3 FM, the sound of and soul of Harlem. And so I would like to share with you today many little things that I'm thinking about, what is going on in our country, what's going on in the market. But above all, I want to make sure that you all have, and I have to say this has been a distributed book all over the country and even outside the country. But it's the How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker book. I know you can see a little bit of that. How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. And all you can do is, if you'd like to get a copy of the book, all you have to do is send me an email to anajenterprisesinc@gmail.com, and we'll be glad to send it to you. I have to be careful how I say it, that what it costs. It doesn't cost anything. I was on a few shows and people thought that I was saying that they had $3.99. It's not. I said free 99. But the real deal is that it really is free. We don't ask you for anything other than to make sure you read the book. And if you really like it, you can ask for another one, or you can share what you have. We love to give these books out. They are on Amazon for, I believe it's $20, but why do that when you can get it for free and also be able to learn and expand your mind as far as financial literacy is important. Financial literacy is the number one step in the 7 money milestones to financial freedom. So don't miss out on it. I'm looking to bring at least 1,000 people to the world of financial freedom and build millionaires out of it. Why? Because we deserve to do that. We know how to make it. We sure do know how to spend it, but we need to set it up so that we are able to make it work for us. Are you understanding how important that is? You don't always have to work for your money. You have to make it work for you. That's how the wealthy do it all the time. And why shouldn't you be eligible to be part of the wealthy? It's in the Bible. It tells you that we are all able to live a wealthful type of life. So go get yours. Also, those of you who are listening right now live, please note that if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to place it in the chat. I would love to hear from you. I always seem to get people after the show is, and I'm sure it's because it's at 6 p.m. Some people are traveling, but I thank you all for the listenership, those that listen to our show. And of course, my mantra is that you always need a plan. You need to know what your number is. You know, what does that mean? Your number for retirement, your number for buying your house, your number for raising your children. What's the number that gets you to that goal and that dream that you desire? So, in saying that, I will at Anaj Enterprises provide for you, which many of you have come and received a free financial analysis. So my mantra is that if you have a plan, then you're not planning to fail. But if you have no plan, you are planning to fail. And that's not good. You don't have to. Again, you need to know what your number is to get to your goal. Sometimes people don't have large numbers. You know, I just want to pay my bills. That's a small goal. But what about the dreams that you have and what you really want to accomplish? You can do it. If no one else tells you that, remember that Dr. Jana told you, you can do it. I believe in you. So today, I thought about what did I want to share. We've got all these graduates graduating from college, and that's a big ordeal. I remember the day that I graduated from undergrad, and it was definitely a challenge because my mom, when I stepped off the stage, she said, "Great, did you apply for grad school?" So it was one of those things, a continuous world, even though at that point, in that ripe age of 21, I owned my own business. But my mother's idea was, or the old system, which we teach our children continuously. And I say it, it's almost like we lied to our children. You go to school, you get a good education, you graduate, you get a job, you work for 30 years, and then you retire. They give you a half of the money that you were making. And you get the opportunity to rest and relax. We lied. That's not what happens. Many a times people are retirees and they have to go back to work. Why? Because we're in the midst of, just like what's happening now, is we're in the midst of inflation. Our buying power of our dollar, it is definitely going down in buying power. We can, when you go to the store, normal situations, you buy your groceries. What used to be a $200 bill for the month, now you're doing 300, 400, and getting the same item. Inflation. So that means you have to make more money. Inflation is going at about 8% now. So if you think about 8%, and you need to buy the same things, are you making an extra 8% on your money? Probably not. So you start to buy less. So instead, there are plenty of people who are out here who are not buying less. Just look at the gasoline prices that are out here. People are still on the road. I just came in, rushed in to get to the studio, and I was amazed at how many people were on the road. Yes, I do live a life of where I can do that, but not everybody can. It's rough out here. And even so, where I was putting 30 some dollars in my gas tank, now I'm putting 70. You know, that says a lot for what's going on with our dollar. Can it stretch for us? You know, or do we, as my mother said when she was a young girl during the Depression, I said, "Ma, what did you do during the Depression? What did the family do?" And she says, "As a little girl, yeah, put more water in the pot." So that's what I'm seeing a lot of people experiencing. I'm also seeing, unfortunately, a lot of our folks, especially here in New York, I'm seeing it even more often, that we have so many homeless, and now it's getting astronomical. People don't ask anymore for 25 cents. They ask for $5. Another sign of inflation. So that being said, as you graduates, I'd like an opportunity to talk to you tonight is that it's not hopeless. You might need to change your mindset and how you handle. So when you come out of undergrad from college, what's next? Do you go back to school because you think that that will give you more money? Do you find a job that you really don't love, but you need to make some money? Do you go back home and stay with your parents and then hopefully something will come through? It's interesting. I've told people in their financial analysis, I said, this world is a little different. People go out to college and then they come back with more people, you know, to take care of. So, what do we do in this kind of situation? What's the mindset? Well, I remember that people have a tendency when you think about where do I go next, then you got to think about what do you love to do? What can you do at 7 o'clock in the morning and still be doing it at set? Okay, don't get obscene here. And still doing it by 7 o'clock at night and haven't stopped. That's your passion. Just have to find somebody who's going to pay you for it. That should be your major focus is what can I do? And especially this generation, I got to give it to them. They really want to find things that will bring joy or bring change within the world. Very admirable. But also you got to feed yourself. So what do you do in that respect? What do you look for? When you get out of college, you're going down, you're graduating, and you have this degree. What does it mean? What does it do for you? Well, it should be your your stepping stone to getting to your happiness, your joy, and your financial freedom. So I thought I'd talk about an idea and a mindset. The first thing is that you have to put down as soon as you start partying, what is it that really makes you happy? And you could do it all the time. It makes you joyful that you're adding to the economy. Is it something that's environmental? Right now, the jobs that are out there are just that, environmental, technology, medical, and also the financial service industry. Also, I have to throw that in there. There's needs for these people to come about to help other folks achieve their goals while they're enjoying meeting theirs. So that being said, we are in truly a situation and a time where they say that the job market has expanded. So you just have to see what's the niche that you have that you want to add to this economy. Pay wise, I would say to all of you, do not think you coming out of college with no experience at all and you're going to get, that $300,000 job. It's slim to none. I never tell anybody that they can't do it because there's no such word as can't. But it's kind of slim to none that it'll happen that way. And there's but so many actors out there, most of them starving. There's but so many musicians that are out there also having a challenge. So it's a limited time when you see these people. A lot of people think that these actors and musicians got rich quick. They just, stepped into it. They were working a long time, a very long time before they got that opportunity where it really worked. But one thing for sure, and I will leave you with this for sure for the day, is to remember, never give up. Never, never give up. Keep your dreams in front of you, but make sure that you can feed yourself and that you can survive. But during the challenge, never give up on your dreams because that's what makes a difference in this world. So that being said, you have some choices. when you're coming out of college, of course. And one of them is, do I work on a job or do I start a business? Now, there's so many people who have left due to COVID, left their job, the journey of the broke, uh, and to get to the level of financial freedom. And those people, we had over 40 million people in this country last year, between last year and this year, leave their job. They didn't, they quit, on the craziness, and they embraced their freedom. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. I'm telling you that. But there are certain criterias for you to be able to get to that land of freedom. My dad told me, as you've heard before, is that he who writes the check is free. And when I was little, 9 years old, I didn't know what in the world that meant. All I knew is that he didn't have a lot of time for me, and he was always working. And I was like, if that's freedom, I don't want it. But the reality is I've fallen straight into his steps in his shoes. But I work because I love it. I love what I do. I love helping people understand how money works. I also happen to love getting people in their own zone and being able to free their families financially if they really want it. Now, one thing for sure, nothing is totally free. So you have to be in a position of where you can take your dream and make it into a money maker. We watch this a lot on Shark Tank, and sometimes people crush their dreams, but they never stop. That's what's so important. So I'm going to talk a bit first before anything, because if you go to a job, the first thing you've got to do is to understand what they call your benefits. What is the job trading you for? You're getting a salary, but also, is there anything else that goes with it? There are things. First and foremost, you need to be able to calculate what your withholdings for taxes. Yes, there's a few people who come first, and the first people that hit you is Uncle Sam, and then the state and the city if you live in New York, or if you live in Florida and the other 9 states that don't charge you tax on the state side. You're good, but you're definitely going to pay the federal government. So how do you do that? The job will give you a packet. What I recommend, this is your first stage of coming into the job market, that you sit down with a financial advisor. You can do that, and someone can really sit with you for as little as maybe a half an hour just to give you the right guidance. And many a times they won't even charge. Why? Because they're looking at you and seeing you the future client for them. And it can be very simple for you to be able to find out how much taxes I need to withhold. That means I'm going to take out of my check so that I don't have to pay the government at the end of the year. I may get a little refund, or I might just break even. Did you know that, this little trivia, that if you owe the government at the end of your tax year $1, or if they owe you $1, you'll break even. Nobody pays the dollar. I know for a few years that was my big key. I wanted to be able to do that. It's just, we good. I got mine, you got yours, I'm done. It takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of time to calculate it exactly, but it's a good aim, I think, to do. But let's talk back to the benefits. So usually when you get your job, they give you a packet, and in that packet, they ask you to fill out your W-4 form, how much tax you're going to withhold. Now, the W-4 form looks a lot different now than when I came into the job market. You had to figure out how many people you were going to claim, and then you had to add how many deductions are you allowed to take. And most of you claimed everything, and many of you claimed exempt. Bad move. Okay. You do have to pay some type of tax. It may not be a lot. It may be as little as maybe 10%, or it may be as large as maybe 38%. But still, you've got to know. And that all depends on how much money you have and receive in taxes. And some of you are experiencing, you get paid by cryptocurrency. Don't think you've avoided taxes. Uncle Sam, that's what we call the tax man, has also the opportunity for you to pay taxes on the cryptocurrency. And if you don't, you may be breaking a law. Okay, so you want to make sure that you, again, sit with a financial advisor and plan this out as soon as you get your job. Now, some of you, when you get ready to get your benefits package, then you think about, who do I put down as far as a bit as a deduction? My mind went a little bit there. Okay, so as a deduction, what could it possibly be? Who am I going to deduct? Well, you only have you. So if you only have you, that's what you can claim. But I would warn you not to just not claim you, claim zero and pick yourself up at the end of the year so that to make sure that you've paid enough in taxes. You're obliged, without a doubt, through tax law, is to pay at least 95% of your tax liability. So you need to make sure that you're withholding enough. And if not, then at the end of the year, you will wind up paying the government back some money. So set yourself up properly. I had an experience with one of my newer clients, and she just couldn't understand why she owed at the end of the year. I said, because you claimed yourself. And if you claimed yourself and the taxes go up a little bit, guess what? You got to give them some more money. Hopefully it's not a lot, but you have to give them their just desserts. Now this is where I always say Uncle Sam comes for the W-2 people first. And so therefore you have to prepare, and you can. Again, always trying to see if you can talk to a financial professional to give you that heads up. But it doesn't mean a hill of beans if you get the information and then you don't follow it. A lot of people say, I want all my money. That's really great. That's not how it works, at least in the world of W-2s. I'm going to discuss some other things that might be a little different for you. But that's where it's set up. What other benefits do you get? Sometimes you get to a 401k plan, a retirement plan. Some jobs even have pensions. But what is all of that? That's money put aside for you when you get ready to retire. And I know you just in your 20s. Retirement is not first and foremost on your mind, but it should be, because you put a little bit of money away as opposed to having to put a lot of money away. You can put away as little as maybe $50, $100 a month. And by the time you get ready to retire at the ripe old age of 65 or 67, around in there, you could have $1 million. Now, I will warn you that $1 million may not be worth $1 million in our mindset now. Why? Because that word that I taught you earlier today, inflation, your buying power. So you know that you still have to get through that element. But if you do it, you'll have at least something to work with. Think about it this way. How many people who are 67 years old right now listening to us would love to have $1 million available for their retirement? Yeah, I hear you all out there going, me, me, me. That's what can be done if you plan. That's why we do what we do, by giving you a plan to work with. What other things do you need? Well, what's your benefits? What do you get? Medical? Do you get dental? Do you get vision? Is there a benefit there for transportation? If you're in New York, transportation is quite expensive, and many jobs open up the ability for you to pay for your transportation and before taxes. So that lessens your tax bracket. It means that you pay less taxes on something that you were going to do anyway. Sounds like a good plan for me. And then also your medical, same kind of situation. You can pay for most of that medical before you pay taxes. This way you pay less on money that you were going to use for that purpose anyway. So pull your benefit packet out, read it. And then if you have to go to your HR person, they never go away. You put them to work. And if you still don't understand, then get to a financial advisor and say, I just want to review a few things. How much is that going to cost me? It may not cost a lot. It may cost you about maybe $25, $30 to sit with someone, or it may be a little more, but they will put together a plan for you and help you. This way, we don't have to worry about folks being without money. You need to cover also some basic things like savings. Can I save a little bit? I remember my first job when I was working for the city of New York years and years and years ago. I remember I used to take envelopes and put the envelopes for my savings, my credit card payments, and my rent. And that's how I started my savings program. Well, today, you guys don't touch any money. You go to you work, they put the money into your bank account. You don't touch it. Okay. You pay your bills, you don't touch that either. It just goes there. You want to put money into a savings account, you don't touch that either. It goes automatically in. So we have this automatic situation going. I just suggest that people take some time and get to know and have a relationship with their money. So take an opportunity to sometimes pay your bills in by hand manually, just once, because it gets headaches, but do that for you just once, and you'll see that you start to build that relationship with your money. Maybe if you build the relationship with it, you wouldn't give it away so easily, especially when you can swipe right now. If you want to get a cookie or breakfast or whatever, you swipe, you tap. There's no relationship until at the end when your bank is overdue, your bank account is overdue. And it's drawn, and you got to try to find some more money or get someone to loan you money. Don't fall into that okie doke. Also, the same thing with credit cards. Be careful with the credit cards because you're new and young. And the thing is that that's another place where you can get really stuck. And then I have to refer you to our dear friend from Leverage Credit, Tyrone Glover, who will get you out of this mess. But boy, there's no need in getting into it if you can avoid it. So these are the things. Now, you're also going to get part of your benefit packet. You're going to have some true benefits, and like life insurance. It won't be a lot. It might be one time your salary, but go ahead and take it and make sure that you put a beneficiary on the paperwork. So many people don't, or as they start off, they put it in their parents' name, and as they get older, they forget to move it, and they have wife and children and or husband and children or whatever, partner and insurance, and you need to make sure that there's always a beneficiary. It saves the time if God forbid something happened to you. And in this day and age, with what we're going through right now, anything could happen. We don't anticipate dying, but boy, stuff is going on so hard that people are dying just by going to school, or teaching in the school. So put it in a situation of where you get that paperwork done. If they offer you a 401k plan and it's 3% with a matching, go match. It's free money. Just go ahead. You can do it. But again, if you sit with a financial advisor, they'll tell you the same thing I told you. And that's what it's all about, is to get your house in order. Whatever the job is giving you, see if you can take advantage of it. There's a thing called flex spending that allows you to pay for your medical bills through flex spending. This is money that you were going to spend anyway, but instead you have the opportunity to pay and not pay taxes on that money. That's money you were going to use anyway. So now you don't have to pay the taxes on it. Just heed it. And if you need some guidance, give us a call at our office, 646-375-2121. And we'd be glad to help you to get on the road to your financial success. So what's your other alternative when you graduate from college? So I thought I'd share with you some information on what we call E2E, making the move. And so some people are set to work a job and go through, working those 30 years and then retiring. But for the most part, those 30 years don't last anymore. They said the average job will last you about 5 years, and then you got to go find another one. So we have this little alternative. It says here, as we bring the slides up, is that make the move E to E. What's that? Employee to entrepreneur. It's more of a mission and less impossible. The movement that is to free you as an employee. And I know a lot of you coming out of college, you done had years and years of people telling you what to do and running your life. A lot of times you may want to just become an entrepreneur. So what's the plan? There's a plan A, which was promotion. You get in the job, you work hard, somebody notices you, and they promote you, and you keep getting promotions. That's one way. Plan B was a new job. I'm sick and tired of working here. I need a new job. I got to go find another job. A lot of people are doing that, that I can get to the stage of where I can move from job to job to job if you're lucky, or that you're just masterful. But there's a lot of masterful people out here. So what's next? There's something that you need is what's called an E plan, plan E. So we got plan A, plan B, and now we got plan E. So what's plan E stand for? It's really entrepreneurship. That's what it's all about. It's about doing something for yourself and your family. But entrepreneur lifestyle, I know it's been made to look phenomenal. You wake up when you want to wake up. You go to bed when you want to go to bed. You don't have to work half the day. That's a lie. Okay, that's not it. That's why you need to find what is it that you love to do, that you can get paid to do it, because that's what it takes, is that fortitude, that focus, that direction that you want to become financially free. But also to not just become financially free, is to be free to do what I want to do when I want to do it and help others with a cause. So the entrepreneur lifestyle is owning your day, which means flexibility and freedom, and working whenever you like. Doesn't say you don't work. It says working whenever you like. So some people like to work late at night, and some people like to work early morning and get off during the day. You can set that up if you find that business that will allow you to do that. Working whenever you like, wherever you like, with whomever you like. Some people don't want to work with anybody. They don't want to walk, talk, or do anything. Need to find that type of entrepreneurship that would allow you to do that. It'll bring happiness. Let me tell you something that I found out years ago. Someone told me this, that 90% of the people die on Monday morning. Did you hear me? 90% of the people who work die on Monday morning. They'd rather die than go to work. They're so tired of what's going on and don't want to go to work, don't want the rat race. What are they willing to do? Instead, they die. The heart attacks are multiplied on a Monday, illnesses. I remember when I worked for a while for a company, and I said, I'm not going to come into the company. I'm not going to call in sick. I'm going to call in well. So I called in and said, hi, I'm not coming in. I'm calling in well. And you know what? They really accepted that. I was like, they don't even listen. They expect you to call in sick. It's like, oh. So you got to find your space and what you really want and what's that lifestyle look like. Then there's another E, escape plan. Okay, so I have this job and I need to transition out into what I really want to do. And that's called the phase in the E2E playbook, which enables you to pursue success without losing stability. So that means that you're going to work to the, what they say, it's off to work I go, but it's not forever. I've find some way in the playbook which will enable me to pursue success without losing my stability. Then comes the easier way. That's starting a business, and it's not that hard and it's not that risky. I know everybody says you're taking the risk, you're jumping into the water. No, not if you have a plan and you make sure that you're structured properly, that you have your team. Your team is the lawyer, the financial advisor, the accountant, you know, and possibly a business associate that's working with you. You put all of that together. And so when you're dealing with building your business, you have to realize that, okay, hard work, some risk, can be some of the obstacles, some of the questions, and some of the uncertainties, because most of us have never been taught to own our own business. Some of us grew up in families that people worked for themselves. And then there's a difference between self-employment and entrepreneurship. Self-employment means if you don't show up to your business, nobody makes any money. Whereas entrepreneurship is where you show up, but if you don't show up, there's always someone there running your business. So you can definitely, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, you can have your dream and fulfill it, or you can fulfill somebody else's dream. It's even with real estate in today's world. People say, I'm going into real estate, I'm going to make $1,000,000,000,000,000. But the key is that how are you working this? Are you, as a real estate agent, are you more apt to become a millionaire as opposed to a real estate broker? Broker has people working for them. They don't do all the work. They have agents working for them. And that's the same to a lot of profitable businesses. You have someone working for you. And then if you don't show up, the business keeps going. That's a different mindset. So the easy way in starting the business isn't risky, but you have to make sure and be clear about the way you want it run and how you're going to manage. And if you're going to have employees or you're not, you're going to be a sole agent. What are you going to do to make sure this business grows? And how do you do it as fast as possible? Then the other E is experienced leadership. The E plan is the path of helping hands, experienced E2E leaders who guide you every step of the journey. That's what it is. It's a business journey. You need mentors, people who have already accomplished it. Some people say, well, then I'm going to be their competition. Not really. There's enough out here in this world that you don't have to worry about the competition. You just build your business. And if you're that great, then you might become someone's competition, but there's enough out there for everyone. There's basically 62% of Americans want to be the boss of their own business, but it can't be something that is just a thought or it's glamorous. Most entrepreneurs like myself, we don't even pay attention to that element of, success. The key is that we're always thinking about the next success. I almost want to say that same thing about my brother Matt, who the next thing after he finishes one situation, he started Soul City. He was on the next road to do more stuff, to expand the business. We hadn't even finished or gotten to the levels that we thought we should, but that's okay because you can't wait till something's done. You got to step in and keep going. So when you want to be an entrepreneur, the lifestyle of an entrepreneur is the freedom to control your time, make your own decisions, and pursue your potentials. Don't think that it's an easy road, but it is a simple road. But you have to understand, you have to just live it. So let's look at the entrepreneur lifestyle. Let's take a little look here. Is that the entrepreneur lifestyle enables you to be your own boss, yes, and set your own schedule. Work from anywhere, especially in today's world. You can work anywhere. You can be on the beach in Hawaii. You can be up in the cold of Alaska, wherever. You can be inside your house. You can have a little room that is inside the closet and that it allows you to work your business. You get an opportunity to focus on your family and friends. There are a lot of people when they're starting their business forget about the family and the friends, and you shouldn't. You need to focus in on, okay, I can't make every play that my child is in, but I can make at least one and make sure I'm there and they know I'm there for them. Or the basketball game or the football game or the reading or the school, uh, um, what do they call those things you have for the teacher sessions, parent teacher sessions. It's very good that you can set that up. A lot of people can't do that. So you can set that up as an entrepreneur. But first and foremost, above everything, you become a leader. Now, everybody doesn't necessarily want to be a leader, but what this says is Cicero said it so well. What then is freedom? The power to live as one wishes. And the power, I'll add to it. Dr. Jana says not only the power to live as one wishes, but to continue to live and make the changes that one would like to make in their life. So Business News Daily said it well, and there's an article. You can also go to my website on yanab.woodhouse at, matter of fact, it's no longer .woodhouse, it's yanab at wealthwave.com, because we're on a wealth wave building. And that would give you the whole article. But being an entrepreneur can be an exciting and liberating endeavor. I had some good days this week. I also had some rough days this week. Clients making demands, but that's a good thing because that means I'm in business. If nobody called, nobody did anything, didn't take on my services, that wouldn't be such a great deal. So that's one of the things we do have to pay attention to is to count our blessings along with our goals. Our goals, we should read our goals when we wake up, and we should read them again when we go to bed, setting it in our mind and our subconscious mind. So the entrepreneur lifestyle is full of flexibilities, making a difference, creating rewards. Sometimes you just got to give yourself a reward, of what you did, you accomplished, and owning your destiny. That's a powerful position to be in. It's also one that we need to respect. This is the greatest time ever to be in business for yourself. We've got so many things that are in our hands that weren't from yesteryear. You wanted to set up a business, you probably could only do the business in the area that you're in. But the tools have never been so cheap. You can now, through technology, has made the world better for you to do business. You can do it over the internet. You can do it in a brick and mortar building. You can do it over everything is available for you. So here are the top hurdles for new entrepreneurs. One of the things is the high startup cost. Many of businesses to start, especially if you're going to a brick and mortar and have to get a lease and all of that, you try to see, that's one of the hurdles. But the reality is it's not really a hurdle because there's so many people doing business on the internet and they have zero overhead. So it can be done. No system or process. Well, you have to set up your system and your process. What's my beginning point and what's going to be my end point? Am I dealing with a product or am I dealing with a service? What am I doing? What's my pricing? What's my competition's pricing? You know, you might want to underscore. I remember when I started my tax business, I was the ripe old age of 19, and people looked at me and said, "Oh my goodness, this is a child doing my taxes." But they learned later that I knew what I was doing. And also, what I did, my little secret was, and bless his soul, Mr. Henderson, wherever you are, who trained me how to do taxes so I could take it to another level and sold me your business. The beauty in it is that through entrepreneurs, he had a system. I came up with the idea to market myself, creating marketing and technology. I said, the people who bring 3 clients to me, they get theirs free. My business took off because everybody wants an opportunity for free at some point. And so that's how I started to build my business from that small business that he sold me. You know, you need to have a mentor, somebody who will listen to you, who will, and they don't have to always be in your specific business. They just need to be someone who is in business or who has been in business that can give you some support and ideas. I had several mentors, and I'll name one of them is Reginald Idlet, bless his soul too, because I was really young and he gave me an opportunity to move my business and was there when I was in my struggles of trying to figure out where do I go next. Then you got to figure out one of the hurdles is finding customers. What are you going to market to get? Number one, who is your customer? Can't be everybody. So you've got to figure out what's your niche market. And then once you do, how do you get to them? Will it be internet based? Will it be, even in meetings, the chambers? How are you going to find your customer? Who is your customer? And then you developing your cash flow. No business should fail because of lack of cash flow. That should have been in your initial plan, your business plan. How are you going to make the money that you got, even if it came to a business loan? How are you going to take it to the next step and bring that cash flow to you? And then establishing your differentiations. What makes you different? I remember I had a friend of mine. She loved the idea of water to produce a special water. So I said, well, what's going to make your water different than anybody else? What's the difference between Poland Springs and Ambient? What is it? Ambient. Yeah, that's it. And so the difference, she went and she started putting a little tiny crystal inside the water. Now people pay more money for a crystal in the water. You just got to be careful. She has it in a little cover so that no one swallows the crystal. But that made her different, and so that's the differentiation. And then the high time requirements. When you're first starting a business, there's no time. Any time is the business time. It's just like having a baby. It is what you put into it, you get out. You can't be running around and not focused in on your business. You can't come up with an idea and leave it hanging. You've got to see it through. You'll get plenty of time to have fun and relax. But right now you are birthing a business. And there has to be an easier way, but the reality is it is. There are easier ways. The only way to help and really guide more employees to become entrepreneurs is to remove the risk, the guesswork. Set your system up, set your business plan. This is the days that we work. It should never be when somebody doesn't know when your business is open. I have a few businesses in my neighborhood now that I'm very disgusted with because you don't know when they're open. It just is. Take your potluck. There's no way you're going to be successful that way. So that's what you have to do. Number one, you have to lower your startup cost and operating cost. You can do that. You put together a budget The budget will guide you. But if you don't have a budget, you won't get any guidance that way. You have to provide the marketing and technology, especially now. Everybody, you shouldn't have a situation when someone says, uh, what's your website? And you look at them and say, I don't have a website. Well, what's your email address? Well, I use Google. Don't put yourself in that kind of position. Make sure you're marketing. Have videos that will tell people what you're doing. There's now TikTok and all of these places you can throw some information out there and let them know that you're in existence. I recently started one of a marketing plan for my investment business and my tax business, and I'm astounded how many people just link to me from LinkedIn, from Facebook, and some people just sending me an email. They want the book. People think that I'm going to do something to them or hold them hostage if I have their address, because the book is not an ebook. It is a physical book. So it takes you about an hour to read this book, but it's an hour well spent. Why? Because you will never forget what's going on in your financial world. It gives you all the beginning steps. And so then we have to be able to deliver, have a proven system or products that you can deliver. When it gets to taxing, you got to change up and reassess what your business looks like and how can you serve more people. Sometimes you're going to have to serve people and get some more people to work with you, and that's not always easy, because I've learned people like paychecks, but they not necessarily want to work. And then you can offer to new people training and mentorship. In the training aspect, yeah, you may be training your competition. I know definitely in the real estate business, you wind up training someone and they become the broker and you become the agent. That can happen. But don't be fearful that that's happening. Be knowledgeable that you can do things in a system by which you can mentor other people. And if you treat them right, they probably will never leave you. The core E2E philosophy. Success as an entrepreneur should be based on the ability to follow systems and leadership. One of the things I ask people when I'm training them to come into the financial service industry, I ask them, are you coachable? And everybody will tell me that they're coachable. Well, 9 times out of 10, they're not. Because as soon as something comes up, they say, well, I think it should be done a certain way. Didn't ask you that. I asked you if you were coachable. So not on just the ability to create businesses from scratch, you can follow suit for someone who has already done it. Listen to it. And it doesn't matter which way that you want to make your business grow. Some people, I love this statement, the movement of E2E helps you to make smooth transitions from a full-time employee to a full-time entrepreneur. So you can take baby steps, unless your business plan has other thoughts. It doesn't matter how much that you work. If it's 4 hours, if it's 1 hour a day you put towards your business, all the way up to 40 hours. Shoot, some people work almost 24 hours, 7 days a week when they're birthing that business. What matters is that you don't quit. So you can work spare time. That means you start slow and steady and make some strategic steps to build your momentum. Step first year, second year, I want to double my clientele. I want to triple my clientele. I want to fire some clients. They're giving me too much headache. These things you do with your spare time. And also on part-time, you work to fund your business by blocking out time blocking every week so that you can hit your goals. And when you hit your goal, celebrate, give yourself something. Doesn't have to be a lot. It may be an hour worth of meditation or a facial or something just for you. And then you're full-time, you're maximizing your efforts with 100% focus on your business and your future, seeing yourself winning. and then win. Now, Inc. magazine said that many people are working full time, but are also pursuing their business passions on the side. These people are just as much as entrepreneurs as those that work full time. So don't shortchange you, and make sure that the independent entrepreneur is they depend on each other. This is why there's necessary to have um, the chambers, the business meetings, meet up, creating a vehicle where you can all talk, and sometimes talk to people who are in your same industry. I have no problems talking to people who are in the financial service industry, and I definitely don't have problems talking to people who are tax accountants, and where they're taking the business. And it helps you, because when you have those rough times, sometimes you think you're the only one going through it. Not so. So I'm hoping that you're learning something here, because this is so important for the future. There's ways to do it better, and you just have to find it and enjoy it. You need encouragement. So if you've got naysayers around you, don't keep them around you. They need to be people who can motivate and inspire you and keep you focused. You need experience, okay? Following a leader who knows the way, and increases your chance for success. Don't be so arrogant that you know it all. The worst words I think are out here is I know it. No, you don't, because there's always something you can learn, and you can help others with what you do know. Guidance is like a step-by-step direction to keep your focus on track. And camaraderie, partnership with other entrepreneurs, even if they're not in your field. Partnership with them and talk to them. I have multiple folks that I can turn to say, I'm going through some rough time right now. And they'll some, like these some dear friends of mine, we're all going away. My birthday's next week, and they're like, look, you need some rest, because we need you around. And I appreciate that, and I'm going to do it. Get some rest. And also, as Helen Keller, bless her for this, she says, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. That's very powerful. So this is what the lesson is I have for you. That's my information again, because I believe in being a financial educator to educate you. And I'm hoping and praying that you learned something today and got something out of it. And the key is that I'm here for you, and I have a team that's here that can help you to get to the next step. So that being said, our time is up. I truly hope you got something out of it. If you have questions, put them in the chat. The producer will get it as we turn off the session today. And you can also send them to Anaj Enterprises Inc. at gmail.com and ask your questions. I love hearing from you. It is so wonderful. I go through my periods of, someone sent me an email, and I enjoy it because I'm able to help someone move to the next level. So that being said, this session today is over and being transferred into the ethers so that people can learn more and be financial free. This is your checkup from the neck up from Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse on Access Wealth Nation. And of course, broadcast by Soul City Network and WHCR 90.3 FM. Again, have a beautiful day. Be rich and prosperous.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.